All right. Yeah, again. Good morning to everyone. Yep. Good morning mga sir. All right. Well, today, uh, I just would like to react to the long time slogan or long time catchphrase from our former vice president, former president, and well, a lot of former, even an actor, um, uh, the good Joseph Estrada, right? His slogan for his political campaign, um, yeah, the most recent ones would be Erap para sa mahirap. All right. So this slogan here is the ones that we will be reacting to. But first things first, yeah, yesterday uh, or last Saturday, um, my sister-in-law and her husband celebrated or yeah, they were just recently wed. They already been wed in a mosque a few weeks back, but they just celebrated it with the traditional way, the Filipino way of um, celebrating it. Yeah. And it was in Pico de Loro, so congratulations to both of them, and thank you for giving us the experience of or a chance in getting in or experiencing Pico de Loro, which is a good place, right? So this is their website, Pico de Loro. I think this is their main website. Okay, their Pico de Loro Club, right? Cool. So congratulations for to the both of them, and we still have the tractor. Okay, uh, truck that my son bring in. This is actually the truck of my sister-in-law's son, right? And somehow, yeah, it was left inside my bag, and I'm gonna bring it back, right? Yeah, my cool family. So this is, yeah, my wonderful and beautiful family. So this is where the event was held, right? Okay, look at that. But yeah, then again, going back to this slogan, Erap para sa mahirap. So, um, yeah, before somehow I decipher the meaning, but again, this is just plainly my opinion. All right, so this is not the exact meaning, or yeah, it's up to you, up to how you want to accept the slogan of our politicians. But for me, era para sa mahirap, I'm gonna provide my meaning of the era para sa mahirap. So yeah, going back to our most recent mayor-elect in Manila, Isko Moreno. Okay, we have this. Okay, let me just zoom out. So we have this news, or he's the one who actually somehow opened the idea or opened the thought that um, Manila mayors are getting 5 million for a day or for a month, um, just from the vendors themselves. According to this article here, Comren offered 5 million bribe. So there's a question mark. Baka ginugood time lang siya. So the term is that it seems like that there may just be people who's just making up stories about the 5 million or the bribes from the vendors themselves, according to the former city administrator. Somehow this is not quite true, but then again, may it be true or not, right? 5 million is 5 million. Okay, I'm just put it back. 5 million is 5 million, so that is a big sum of money, right? Um, and we all know that the good city mayor, Mayor Isko Moreno, has been doing a lot of things in Manila. He's been changing up Manila so much, right? One of the most recent ones will be the uh, electric or the e-trikes that's been banned due to it not having any any permits or any not having any written document that it is road safety. So um, yeah, the city already has these e-trikes for quite some time. Yeah, during the former mayors um, have uh, have taken the or allowed it um, to travel or to do public transport. But then again, since it does not have papers or doesn't have the legalities to do their transport or their transaction, definitely that is something that the good mayor Isko Moreno is trying to prevent. Yes, road safety is about road safety, right? There may not be much of accident caused by the e-trikes, but that's plainly being passive about road safety itself. So are we gonna wait for these e-trikes to create an accident that could harm not just one but could be many other people, and then that's the only time that the city government will take action about it. So that is something that most likely the mayor is trying to prevent. That, yeah, even though there's not much accidents involved with the e-trikes, but since they don't have proper documentation, proper paperworks to travel or to do public transport, that's why they have been banned for now to travel. But I think the good mayor, same as with the vendors that he tried to clean up in Divisoria and a lot of places in Manila. There will be a program for them. That's just how I see it. Okay. I think that the mayor is it's not just plainly doing things just because he likes it. Um, he wanted to make sure that his constituent has been taken care of. So yeah. Uh, so now going back to the tagline from the former Manila mayor, right? Pero sa mahirap, and yeah, this line here, right? So I'm just gonna somehow correlate it, right? So era para sa mahirap, right? Brief background why Erap is using the term Erap, right? So Erap, by the name itself, so that's Erap, right? This is somehow is that an anagram, right? The um, when you um, when you change the correct word, or when you write a word invertedly, right? Right. So erap came from the word pare, right? So pare is a term for male or for guys. Like for women, it's mare, right? This is the term if you've been granted or if you've been invited to be a godfather for weddings, baptismals, usually baptismals, right? Um, if you have a child to be baptized to a any religious inclination, like me, I'm a Roman Catholic, so most of my friends are also Roman Catholic. So if I'll be invited to be a godfather of any of the child, so I will be a kumpare. Kumpare. kumpare of the kumapare kumpare of the dad or the father of the child. So I will be his pare. Um, right? And I will be called, since my name is Art, I will be called Pareng Art, right? With a space, of course. Pareng Art. So that will be that is the that will be my uh, that would be how they gonna address me, or the dad or the father of the child. That's how it's gonna address me, Pareng Art, right? So that's just plainly how it is. And during the 70s, there is this big, well, it's not actually a movement, but most people, or other people back in the 70s, would like to invert words, like what they're doing with Mayor Esco, Yorme, right? Mayor Yorme, right? Things like that. Bente, Etneb, Tacorens, Cuarenta, right? So that is something that that's part of the Philippine culture, right? To do this. And Erap, right? Or the former president, former Manila Mayor Joseph Estrada, is using as his own for his tagline, or as his moniker, Erap, right? Or his nickname, is gonna be Erap, right? So going back to uh, Erap para sa mahirap, so he's plainly saying that he is for the poor, right? So that's the term, Erap. So Joseph Estrada, para sa mahirap, for the poor. So he's plainly saying that he is pro poor, right? Okay, but going back to this, okay, going back to what Mayor Escal Moreno says, that he's being bribed 5 million from vendors, right? Who are part of the poor people of Manila, right? Now, my main thought is, or my opinion is, Erap is now just plainly pushing the tagline, Erap para sa mahirap. He wanted to continue, or he wanted, well, maybe it's not just him, but a lot of politicians here in the Philippines who wanted to have so many poor people thinking that the politician themselves is pro for them, or helping them out, right? Helping them out, but then again, this politician is actually raking so much from them being poor, right? So the vendors, okay, they've been allowed to do their business because they are poor, and that's the way they they get their living, all right, out of plainly selling out items, selling out stuff on the street, right? But then again, right, as the politician who allows it, right, he is also getting more out from these poor people. Really sad to say that if you think about it, most of the projects of the city government, right, are plainly, or are for poor people, but these are what we call somehow band-aid solutions, right? Feeding programs, right? Things like that. Okay, so they keep these people to be poor, so that these people will still stay with them, right? The Erap para sa mahirap thing, right? This slogan has been there way back when when Erap is still running as the president of the Philippines. That's more than 10 years ago. So it's already been there. Okay. I remember that time that I was still in college, so around 2002, 2003, I think. So it's more than 10 years of Era para sa mahirap, and he's been using this slogan up until the last election, being the city mayor of Manila, right? Quite sad to think that these politicians is just making a fool of all of us, right? They are just plainly saying that they are pro for you, but in reality, they're just trying to get more out of you. Okay, so there is this political agenda that they are always pushing, and most of the time, uh, the end line of it will be money matters, and that's just gonna make the politician even richer than before, right? Quite sad. So that's plainly just how I see it with the Era para sa mahirap slogan, and mostly some other politicians in the Philippines. If your city mayor, well, just think of it like this, right? If the programs of your city mayor is somehow short term, right? That after his um, after 3 years, because 3 years will be their mayoralty term, right? After 3 years, that if they will no longer win, that specific program will stop, right? Think about it. Most likely, that mayor just put up that program so that each and everyone who's gaining, right, who's actually getting something out of that program, will continue to support him because of that specific program, right? So definitely that is something that that we want to watch out for, right? Um, let me just there. So let me just put up one tagline from. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to pull it up, but Cynthia Villar. Cynthia Villar has been elected senator, right? Recently. So, well, Cynthia Villar, one of her, uh, if you go back to the election, or uh, the time that people are, or the politicians who are running are doing their uh, roundup, where they're trying to get our votes, right? Um, Remember one of her commercials about the job that she created, most especially for those who are PWDs, or people with disability. Remember that guy who's actually working in a, I'm not sure if that's a construction site, or if that's as a steel company, right? Remember him? He's on a wheelchair, right? Okay. His arms, his limbs are no longer complete, but even though that he is not that complete, he is a PWD. He managed to get uh, a job, right? So he can now go ahead and live because of that job, right? He is now earning money because of it. Okay. What I'm saying is that Cynthia Villar created that program for that PWD, well, not just for him, but for any other uh, members of the PWD section, that even though that Cynthia Villar will not win the next election, right? That person, that guy on a wheelchair, who's formerly does not have a job because of his disability, will still be able to continue his job even though without Cynthia Villar, right? So this is one example of a long-term program. And this is something that we want to see from our politicians, right? This is one thing that we want to see from our local government, most especially from our mayor, because our mayor is the main guy for our city, right? Okay, so well, for me, this is, well, here in San Pedro, Laguna. So I've been living here ever since 1982. We only have two names that keep popping up in our elections, and yeah, well, I think that's just about it for me here in San Pedro Laguna. But um, each and every one of you, I'm just gonna somehow make you think of what you could or yeah, whatever or whomever the politician that you may support in the future, think about or ask about the programs that they're gonna be doing. If it's gonna be short term, well, maybe most likely most likely it's gonna be like this. But if it's gonna be long term, right? Most likely it's gonna be like this, right? And also somehow like this, because even though if Isko Moreno will no longer win the next election, right? Whatever he's done, most likely can still continue, right? So that is something that we might want to look at in our politicians, most especially since our local government or the local elections has just finished, and the new or the newly elected local officials had it's just been a month, I think, that they are sitting in their post. So I think this is something that we might want to look for um, in the next few days, few weeks, few months, up until the end of their term for the next election, which is also the presidential election. Okay, so well, I think that'll be um, for me from now. For now, again, I'm just gonna reiterate, this is just my opinion, right, about the slogan and about politics in general here in the Philippines. Again, my opinion, okay, right? This is not from somebody else. This is not from somewhere else. This is just my opinion. But yeah, again, thank you for watching, and you guys enjoy.